And more than 1 million people have already downloaded the government's contact tracing app for England and Wales on its first day of release. Anyone over 16 is being encouraged to use it on their smartphone. It can warn if you've been in close contact with someone who's been infected, but the Health Secretary for England, Matt Hancock, says it won't be a legal requirement for people to self-isolate if the app says you should. Here's our medical editor, Fergus Walsh.
Now, based on Apple and Google's privacy-preserving technology, the app will help us safely live our lives, protecting you and others.
Much delayed, but finally available for download in England and Wales. The NHS COVID-19 app can be used to check in at bars and restaurants and tell you the coronavirus risk level where you live. But its main function is contact tracing. The app uses Bluetooth, and if you come into contact with others who've downloaded it, that will be recorded on each of the phones. And let's say I test positive. That result will be sent anonymously to the NHS. If I'd been within 2 meters of someone for at least 15 minutes, perhaps sat near them on a train, they'll be sent an alert telling them to self-isolate. The app keeps secret who's received those alerts, so self-isolation will be voluntary, unlike those contacted through NHS Test and Trace, where it's mandatory.
This allows us to find, all of us, to find contacts that we wouldn't otherwise know. Because if you've been sitting near somebody on a bus, for instance, you might not know who they are. So if you test positive, you couldn't tell the contact tracers that.
1 million people downloaded Scotland's tracing app within a week of its launch. Northern Ireland's app has also proved popular. For those with COVID symptoms, finding out fast whether they're infected is vital so that contacts can be traced. New figures show that fewer than 1 in 3 people in England who attended a COVID testing site are getting their results within 24 hours. It was a return to homeschooling for the Maguire family from Cambridgeshire last week after 2-year-old Sean got a fever. They managed to book a test slot.
Getting a test like that, and one that we didn't have to travel 150 miles for, it was a half an hour drive, so actually I thought, well, this is really good.
But a week on, they never heard back.
We still don't have the government's test and trace result. Day 8. It's so frustrating, actually. It felt so much worse than the original lockdown.
In the end, they paid £150 for a private test and got the result last night.
Negative.
Yay! The government has set a target of 500,000 tests a day by the end of October, double the amount done now. But making sure people get their results back quickly will be another challenge. Fergus Walsh, BBC News.
Denmark is among 4 countries from where travellers arriving in the UK will have to self-isolate for 2 weeks. Restrictions are also being reimposed on arrivals from Iceland, Slovakia, and the Caribbean island of Curaçao due to rising coronavirus cases. The quarantine measures come into effect from 4 a.m. on Saturday. Cardiff is facing a local lockdown as coronavirus cases rise rapidly. The City Council leader, Hugh Thomas, has warned of potential restrictions on travel and different households mixing. He told a virtual meeting of the authority that in the past 7 days, the city has seen more than 38 cases for 100,000